either number one or two on somebody's list when they're deciding where to put their family. I'm 33 years old. I have a couple of numbers for you guys. I've been to 51 weddings in the last 8 years. And that's just a part of growing up in Lowell. That happens because there are a lot of good people here. And that's why this place is what it is. That's why I love it. Everybody in this room, somewhere along the line, had somebody decide that they wanted to have their family here. And they didn't do that because for any other reason than the people. If you think about that whole process of laying your roots somewhere, it's because good people continue to lay their roots here. And all these people that I go to weddings, I learned a lot about people from going to all these things. And every time I talk to somebody that decides to settle in Chelmsford, I'm like, I cringe a little bit because I want these people to stay. I want good families. That's what Lowell is made up of. They're made up of families. And a brand new school will do nothing more than keep good families here. I'm nervous about the 6 to, however long the construction is going to go on downtown. How many people, good people, and families are we going to lose? How many good people, good kids, good students is the high school going to lose? That's why Lowell High School is great, because all of our people stay here, our families stay here. Let's make that choice easy on them in the future. Don't make them have to decide, do I have to leave the city for the sake of my kids for their education? Build a brand new school, get it done however it needs to get done, and let's keep all of these good people that we have here. Let's make it an easy choice for them. Thank you.
Karen Green. Karen Green.
I'm Karen Green, 91 Elliott Drive. Mayor Kennedy, City Manager Murphy, members of the City Council. I once again speak on behalf of myself and my husband, Jack. Tonight, I'd like to say a few words on the cost of busing students under Motion C. But first, let me speak about the impact of busing on the students themselves. It is my opinion that the Collie option would only be convenient to the students from Belvedere, but it would add significant commuting time for the students of the other sections of the city who actually walk to school. This added commuting time will have an impact on the students' ability to take advantage of the many additional activities and benefits of the new high school. As for the busing cost, which I understand is an additional $3.2 million every year for the Collie option, I believe that money would be better used to invest in educational programs, teachers, and equipment, or other community needs like police, fire, and infrastructure. With the high school downtown, this money would not be needed for busing and could be put to an alternative use. In making the choice of which site is most effective, the experts have provided their information to the council. The numbers reinforce our sound belief that option 3 makes the most sense financially. Option 3 is less expensive than Collie in terms of construction cost, infrastructure cost, and transportation cost. There also will be no issue of extra traffic planning or replicating athletic fields all around the city. We believe it is important to have our high school centrally located in the heart of the city for all our students from every area of the city to benefit for years to come. We truly believe that this will be a beautiful, state-of-the-art school in an urban setting. That is Lowell. That's who we are. In closing, I would like to say, as I stated from the very beginning, it was my belief that this issue should have been a referendum on the ballot so the voters would have had their say. It is such an important project, and as we've witnessed, one that certainly brought out opinion and passion. Having brought this to a vote, it would have made it easier for our city council, no question, and more importantly, the taxpayers and parents would have had a direct voice in this decision. That being said, I would personally like to thank the manager and the councilors for their tireless work on this important matter. Finally, I would like to commend both the Collie and the downtown supporters on their civic participation. It has been nothing short of amazing. Speaking for the downtown group, truly the finest combination of ladies and gentlemen, headed by Maria Sheehy, Peter Martin, and Bob Montgomery. I am very proud to work with them. We feel very strongly about the importance of this issue. We support option 3 because we truly believe it's the best interest of all of the students, taxpayers, and the city we love. I hope you will vote in favor of downtown option 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Barack J. Barack J.
Price is right. I believe I've been punished for coming there, before. So I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet. Good evening, Honorable Mayor Ed Kennedy, City Councilors, and resident of Lowell. Thank you for granting me the opportunity to speak to you this evening. I am Virat J. of 233 West Manchester Street. Upon arriving to Lowell a year ago, my friend drove me around for a tour of the city. One of the places she took me to is College Stadium. This is where she practiced and played sport during her years at Lowell High School. As I look around, I couldn't see the school in sight. And I presume it's behind the tree lines. To my surprise, it's located in downtown. I had since visited the high school at downtown twice. During both occasions, I encountered very deplorable conditions. Fast forward to today, our community is practically engaged in a civil war. Neighbors against neighbors and siblings against each other. I myself am not an exception. I have been branded a traitor and even called a sellout by the very people I love and care for. This is the product of pure emotion. Perceived injustice from the marginalized minority groups, those with vested interests, and the not in my backyard attitude, and the threat of pulling our children out of school or even pack up and move should we not get the school location of our choice. And let's not forget what happened in Lowell 2 weeks ago when a murderer was armed and on the loose. Police showed up in forces, but we have people criticizing their presence, and even going on social media to promote the denial of entry to residents in order for them to search for the killer they were so afraid of. You can't make this up, folks. How can we move forward collectively if we are so unwilling to make even the smallest sacrifice of our comfort? Honorable Mayor Kennedy, City Councilors, I so not envy your job right now. And I understand what keeps you guys up at night, especially what's going on and November being just around the corner. While I understand some of us well-meaning residents favor the downtown site because of historical sentiment, concerns of busing, traffic, and access to local services, the truth is all of these concerns could be addressed with rearrangement of existing transportation system. The small challenges are not unsurmountable. There's just a lack of will to make it happen. No one is ignoring or denying any student from accessing these social services. At the same time, a relatively small portion who do use these services should not anchor the school to downtown and hold the rest of the 3,000 students hostage. Lowell has grown over the past century, and the downtown site is no longer suitable. The only thing that doesn't change are living things that have gone extinct and are dead. We're speaking of building a new school that must meet current and future needs, and yet some of us are advocating for downtown with a blueprint that's already failing to meet the state current standard and recommendation. Both Collie and downtown are projected to cost over $300 million each, so we should not have to compromise and take unnecessary risks of a cost overrun that is endemic with renovating a condemned and toxic building of this magnitude. To my fellow Cambodian Americans, there is no need to fear about moving the school to Collie it is going to be only one high school in Lowell, and your children will get bused there, provided with the highest quality education the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has to offer. Do not fear or allow yourself to be misled by those with vested interests to keep Lowell High School downtown. Our nation and community thrive because of our social fabric is reinforced with diversity and inclusion. Honorable Mayor Kennedy and City Councilors, the people entrusted you with this duty when they elected you over a year ago. The time has come for you to act. Critical facts and figures are in, and they are adequate to move forward. The difference in the price tag over the years is insignificant. We will pay the price. All other excuses under the sun are just petty stall tactics and delay that will lead to indecision. I understand you are all in a tough position and want to uphold our democratic process. I admire and respect that. But as we all know, this high school project has been hijacked by a small number of individuals who deceivingly make loud noises and prey on the emotion of the mass to smoke and screen their motive. Remember, any which way you vote have consequences. Fear not what's to come, and fear not the lawsuit, for they will all come. What matters now is that you carry out your duty, because the charade will not age better with time. For some among you, this could be your very last meaningful vote, a vote that will cement your legacy and a lasting impact for generations to come. So vote as if it is your last, so that you will carry no guilt or regrets in the last breath you draw on this earth. I want to share with you a quote I came across last Monday while visiting memorials in the surrounding areas. One of such memorials bear the names of the Gatton family. It reads, "The ultimate measure of a person is not where he stands in the moments of comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." I pray you will find the strength and courage in your faith to decisively act for the common good without further delays. If we put the emotion aside and reason objectively, Cawley is the most viable location for a new school without questions. Downtown is already restricted with the current proposed plans, whereas Cawley not only meets, but has the room to accommodate future expansion.
You're at 5 minutes.
For our children's sake, get on with Cawley, because it is the class of the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Matthew LaLasha.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, Mr. Manager, my name is Matthew LaLasha. I reside at 39 Perrin Way in Lowell, and I am a candidate to join you on the City Council. So unlike everyone else, I do envy the position that you're all in. The way that I've seen this unfold over the last few months, years, as the discussion has heated up, has led me to have numerous conversations throughout the city with a number of individuals as to their stance and their reasonings as to why they are where they are. It is boiled down to, for me, a few separate visions of the future. And every decision, every piece of information that you have before you, everything that you now have laid out before you, leads you towards whichever vision that I think you choose to prescribe or ascribe to as you go forward, as a resident or as a counselor. One vision looks to update and improve upon the existing status of the city of Lowell. Something that I believe the downtown option is looking to do. It's looking to try to take what we have today and make it a little better and put us in a position where it's good enough for where we need to be going forward. I choose to view things a little bit differently. I don't think Lowell has to settle for good enough. And I think throughout our history, there's been numerous occasions where we haven't done that. We haven't settled. We haven't said good enough is good enough. And so I have a separate vision of where I see the city going. And throughout the evening tonight, so many points were made, I won't get into exact detail on every last ounce of them. But on the bigger picture, if you've paid attention throughout the budget process inside this city, you'll know that there's not a lot of fat in our budget. This council does not have a lot of areas or any directions, or the manager and his staff have anywhere to go moving forward. If we're going to continue to have the services that we need, never mind the high school situation. So when you're left with an opportunity like we have today to get a new high school, something that can be a crown jewel, as others have said, as we move forward, while also giving us an opportunity to bring over 6 acres of land in prime real estate in downtown Lowell. We all need to think of a vision for what that may look like in the future. If we don't do it, if we settle for good enough, if we don't look for and strive for what other greats in the city of Lowell have done in the past, we're left with a continual increase for those that are the weakest or those that have the biggest problem amongst us. You're looking at fixed income residents and low income residents watching 1.5% to 2.5% annual increases on their residential tax rate just to pay for the bills of what we already have today. If we don't find a way to change the dynamic, as Councilor Leary has said, if we don't have a chance to protect the downtown businesses, as others, Councilor Belanger and others have talked about, if we don't change this dynamic, we're going to have the same problems. I was at the high school today for a 3rd grade field trip. The high school is leaking. I had hundreds of students, parents, other individuals going through that school today while I'm championing the greatness of the city of Lowell. I can't tell you how many of them were shocked at the conditions of that school and said, I don't care what you do to this school. I don't see how you can fix this. No, I'm not going to sit and tell you that the downtown option doesn't have a way to make it better. It can make it good enough. Good enough's not good enough. This is our chance. 45 years ago, when Paul Tsongas looked out at this city and saw what in the state we were in, he didn't say this is good enough. He said we need better. And now to this day, because of that beginning vision, we now have ourselves a national park, the largest free folk festival in the United States of America, an arena, a ballpark, museums, should we continue? Art festivals, we have summer music series, I shouldn't stop there. That all comes from vision, guts, and a plan. I truly believe this is our chance, our generation, our time, to have that vision, to have those guts and execute on a plan that changes the dynamic of this city, that allows us to have the maintenance that we need to do in all the buildings throughout the city of Lowell. We need more revenue if we're going to do that. We need to have the guts to say we can do that by redeveloping downtown. Stop saying that the downtown businesses have to be supported by students. That's a plan for failure. We all know there's only so much that they're going to be able to do. Not saying that there isn't some. We have to change that dynamic. We have to bring a different set of circumstances to the downtown businesses and to this city so that whichever option is chosen, we have the revenue to make sure it is proper for the students moving forward. So I ask everybody, as you're listening over the next week and as more details are coming out, probably after midnight at this point,
You're at 5 minutes.
I will wrap right now. As we're going forward, as you're listening, think of which vision you choose to ascribe to, because that is how you will see all of this information. And I ask all of you to contact the council, to reach out and tell them what you plan to do. And as my final statement, I will say I will do what I ask everyone to do. Tell them where you stand. I believe that the option out of Cawley is the best option for now and in the future, and I thank you, and I hope you'll tell everyone.
Thank you.
Chris Mann.
I can't wait for June 14th. My name is Chris Meehan. I live at 47 Kearney Drive. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Manager, City Councilors, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. You know, a few months back, I stood before this council and expressed to you that placing Lowell High School at Cawley Stadium would have a permanent and negative effect on the neighborhood. And after going through the traffic study, it is clear to me that my worst fears have not only been met, but exceeded. Now, I was going to read some information that comes from the traffic study, but it's getting late, and I'm going to cut that a little short, and other people have already done that. But I'll just briefly go over it. The thing that stood out to me was the traffic volumes on Clark Road and Douglas Road, 222 to 524% increase. That is not what the people that purchased these homes in that area signed up for. Now, if it was the only site, meaning Cawley, then I could understand, maybe I could understand. But there is a better site. It's downtown. It's centrally located. I don't think it makes any common sense to destroy, in my opinion, destroy one of the finest athletic complexes in the state, Colley Stadium, the baseball field, Martin Athletic Complex. That will be diminished. It will not be enhanced. It will be diminished. I don't think it makes common sense to take the centrally located high school and make it more difficult for people to get to school. I don't think it makes common sense to make it more difficult to get to the many resources that are downtown. Again, I'm going to keep it brief. I think the best option going forward for the entire city, not just a select few, is to keep Lowell High School downtown and choose option 3. Thank you very much. I wish you luck in your decision.
That concludes the speakers. The chair would entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn by Councilor Elliott. Do we have a second? Second by Councilor Belanger. All in favor? All opposed?
Have a good night, okay? Keep these councils separated. You're the most famous man in Lowell now. I know, right? You've been on camera for 5 hours.